So the year just began and I already feel like my life is boring. Okay, maybe boring isn't the word, but I fear that it's not as exciting and many days are filled with mundane activities. There's this recognition for only the big events in our lives, forgetting that there's beauty in the regular, or I guess what we think is regular. I'm constantly questioning if I'm being ungrateful because I keep asking myself, why do I tend to only see beauty in the big moments? I think my life is boring, so I hide, I downplay every activity, I lose the need to document the mundane, I forget that it is still in fact my life. It made me realize how much of a thin line there is between being bored and being ungrateful. Boredom is usually stemmed from mundaneness or experiencing a form of repetition. We have the power to determine or define what boring is and how we decide to approach the mundane activities in our lives. If I'm being honest, most of the time that I struggle with these feelings, I realize it's not because I think my life is boring. It's because I'm fixated on what I think I should be doing as opposed to simply living in the moment and finding the best ways to enjoy even the simplest things. So I'm learning to appreciate the day-to-day activities instead of dreading them. The working out, the grocery shopping, doing my job, cooking dinner, taking walks. I'm learning that there are seasons where quietness is required and that mundane may just be the best form of consistency. It's a way of me showing up for myself. It's a way of you showing up for yourself. So the more I practice gratitude and less comparison, I realize the less boredom I feel because I'm not looking at the highlight reels of every other person's life and comparing it to my everyday activity. Embracing the mundane means that life never really gets ordinary. You see everything differently. The colors of the sky, your chores become a bit more bearable. The smallest of moments fill you with so much joy and happiness. I like to think that a mundane life free of unplanned activities can be a privileged life. This is in no way saying that we should just exist as opposed to living, and I'm not saying that we should be content with living an unfulfilled life. If you truly feel unhappy and bored with life right now, not because of pressure or external factors or comparison, I definitely advise that you take tiny steps to change that, and I pray you find the strength to, of course. But the thin line that exists between feeling bored and just being ungrateful is so thin that if we're not intentional about how we approach our lives, we might just end up feeling so empty. Life isn't always going to be a highlight reel. Everyday life is so full of mundane activities. It's okay to exist quietly. It's okay to not always have something going on. And that does not equate to a boring life. There is so much beauty in the mundane and it just depends on how you approach it. I don't have the perfect answer. Like anything else, requires continuous learning and practice. There isn't a destination, but this is something that I'm trying to be intentional about. I pray that we learn to find joy in the ordinary, the unspectacular parts of the day that are so easily overlooked.